Folks, Species 7 here. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2013. And we're here on Gorzkowa. Yes, indeed. So, over the last few days, there's been some really major updates to... let me turn the birdies down here. There we go. Been some really major updates to the MR mod. And as you guys may be aware that watch my channel, I figure the MR mod is one of the most important mods that's ever been introduced to the game. And as I was sort of a patch or two behind on it, I think I was sitting at 1.3 even. We're now up to 1.36. I did decide that maybe it was time I did a little something about it. So, I've windrowed the first half of this field. I'm just going to collect some of it up with me forage wagon. But what I have done is, yeah, you probably haven't seen that bit of gear here before. I have reloaded the entire game, like completely scrubbed FS 2013 out of my system. Went into all the save files, scrubbed everything back to its basics, etc, etc, etc. Just so there would be an absolutely fresh install of the MR without any other interference from anything else. And then I selectively went through all of my mod packs and sorted out what I knew was really clean and worked really well, and what I had a little bit of suspicion of. So, other than that, we shouldn't notice too much is terribly changed. I have upgraded the gear a little bit, and we have less of it. So, a little bit bigger stuff, but a little bit less of it. The MR changes included, I guess Durrell rewrote the entire vehicle pack to include it, etc. So if we run into some mods that seem to be a little bit wacky, it could well be that they don't quite find their way into the new parameter. So we'll have to keep an eye open for that and see how we make out. So far, things have been going well. I used the sort of old, is it T108, New Holland T108 is what I used to actually harvest the field. Wow, you windrow it, it sure makes for some quick straw gathering. And then I actually sold it and repurposed our farm to use the Lexion 550. Or 560. I just wanted a bigger head, and the T108 would only handle the 5.5 meter. So, and I really did want to go at least a 7 meter. So I think that's what we're running, is a 7 or 7.5 meter head on the 560. So a little bit better. It'll get us through this much quicker. So I want to pick up at least one trailer of straw here as loose straw. And I also want to bundle some as bales. So we don't have a mixing station, and I'm not sure if I actually want to get one. So really, really big ditch here. There we go. So what else? I have upgraded our tipper. I have a new one that, well, it's not actually new, and I did actually use it in the game when I first loaded this up and prepped the map. That's another thing, I haven't done very much prep to this map. But when I first loaded up and prepped the map, I had a calc trailer, specifically designed to deliver and spread calc. In other words, it had a large enough capacity you could go to where they sell the calc, bring enough of it back to your farm. To most of the spreaders you could fill 2 or 3 times, right? Or this big unit you could also unfold the back end of and use it directly. Well, I decided that rather special purpose, but that's all it would carry as well, right? It's kind of important. Yeah, it would only carry calc, nothing else but lime. I'm going to call it lime. Calc doesn't really exist in my language, so I'm going to go with lime. I'm sorry for all the purists, but that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, so I figured rather than go with a special purpose trailer that's only going to take one thing, as important as that one thing may be, I'd find a trailer that would carry that and all the regular stuff, which is exactly what I did. So we now have that. Granted, she is a big trailer. You know, probably, yeah, I'm thinking we're talking something in the size of this pottage or forage wagon here. That kind of big trailer. And we're good. Alright. Now, let's take this over and give her a little dumping out. It looks like I'll be able to do 2 trailer fulls and still have bales, so I may just do that here. Oh, he'd like to fit across the bridge, thank you. I've been spend a lot of my off gaming hours, like in other words when I'm gaming, when I'm not doing it for the YouTube channel. Been playing a lot of Grim Dawn lately. For those of you that used to play not Game of Thrones. Now it escapes me, of course. Okay, one of these is hay. I'm gonna assume that one. Well, that's it. It's completely gorfed out right out of my head now. That's perfect. But probably one of the best RPGs I've ever seen, Grim Dawn. If you well, I guess if you either did like or didn't like Diablo 3, Grim Dawn should impress the heck out of you. In my opinion, unless you're a real Blizzard fanboy, Grim Dawn is going to be the better game, and you're going to get a heck of a lot more out of it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a really good RPG. I actually died for the first time playing last night. I think I went a little beyond where excuse me, my particular character should have tread, but so it goes. Let's go back to inside view here. There we go. What else? Put up a new video, I guess it would be yesterday, called Terraformers Expedition to Mars. Another newly developed little indie game. In fact, a one-man show. But really cool. Looks like the premise is good anyway. The gameplay is a little rough at this point, and that's probably going to come across in the video. I have actually, since recording it, played it a little more and progressed a little more. But it is still quite difficult. Okay. And has an incredibly high, you know, problem with a lot of the indie games is they don't release tutorials until, you know, or at least a really good tutorial until the game's actually released. So when you pick up something on early access, a lot of the time you're kind of going, well, this is the way I do it. Oh, that doesn't work. So, yeah. Still having those sort of teething issues with it, but beyond that, not bad. Not bad at all. Another one of these ones that has potential. Certainly a far more realistic sort of Martian simulator so far as what you need to do to survive, etc., than the Mars Colonies one was, which is still a pretty good game, and really unfortunate. I think they could have done a lot more development on that game and made it a heck of a lot better. I think the reason it probably didn't do as well as it should have is simply because it was, for the most part, just simply a carry in place. It was about all you ever did. You fetched things and put them into a certain place, and they could have gone a little deeper. And I think if they had gone deeper, they would have found that their people would have dug a little deeper in their pockets to buy the thing. Okay, look at that. Just man. And yes, we guessed where the row was. Alright, we're going to get a fair bit of straw from this field. Which doesn't hurt my feelings, to be honest with you. Still sort of waiting for a Starpoint Gemini 2 to reach a point where their patches are no longer killing our save games. I think they're just about to that stage, though. I really do. Because I have great hopes for that game. After, like the rest of the world, being so seriously disappointed by the new X game. Because I had such high hopes for it, being a big fan of Terran conflict and all the rest, so. But it's not to be. That they just had a big special on it because they released some kind of big update, but apparently it didn't do much for the the actual gameplay or the state of the gameplay. It just added a whole bunch more stuff to a broken system. It's kind of unfortunate, because I know there's a lot of real big fans of that series. I'm one of them. Boy, oh boy. She starts feeling it dragging this load, I'll tell you. So I think I'm only windrowed up to that next long row. I think all those short guys have not been done yet. So that's something I will have to get to. And yeah, I realize running rows, picking up the straw ain't the most exciting thing. But it's one of those deals. It's a part of running the farm. Well, there's our new trailer off in the background. And as you can see, I have not yet dumped the grain out of it. There's another really interesting mod. And I did add it to this when I reinstalled it, and then I had to take it back out again. It's a mod that sort of takes a lot of the kind of cheatiness out of the game that you used to be able to do it. It kind of slows your roll. What it does, I guess basics, if you want to get right down to the scratchers, is it allows you to spend money based on your real worth, and that real worth is measured in hectares of land. So if you were, let's say you were playing Hagenstat and you still only had the stock field the game came with, you would be limited to spending, I believe it's $50,000 on new equipment. Alright? If you bought the big field behind the farm, which is usually the first big purchase people make, your limit would be raised, etc., etc. When you picked up fields 18 and 19, again, your limits would be raised. I thought, you know, that works really well, and it makes a lot of sense. Except it has a couple of limitations. For all games, or all maps, it would have one limitation, that being, if the mod's installed, you're very limited on your starting gear to either what the map author has provided, or what you can buy based on the hectares of land that the map included. Right? So the other issue comes across with this map in so much as not only do you own all of the fields when you start the map, but it's not really written that way. There's no script sort of governing what fields are owned and what are not. And the mod has a problem with that in so much as it comes up and it tells me you own 0 hectares and therefore can only spend $50,000. Now that includes all of the equipment, and yet you still own 0 hectares. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. It truly is. That's kind of pointless, isn't it? I should probably just find somewhere else to park this up. In fact, I think we'll park her over at the cow shed. So yeah, but I will probably try and run that mod on our Iron Horse farm, because there you do actually have numbered and purchased fields. I'll show you what I mean here. This is another thing for... I know most of you probably figure watching my videos I don't have much of a sense of humor, but will you just stop? Thank you. You want to know one of the reasons that I was really intrigued to try this map? This page right here. Okay, this is the page you get when you load, right? Well, it's going loading game, and then you get your start button. Well, yeah, blah 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 up here, and blah 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 here. And then you get down here. And I kid you not, I laughed so hard the first time I read this that I decided, you know what, I have got to try this map. Have fun with the map. You wish. TLS modding. I mean, it's a simple line, but I think it's just great. It's absolutely hilarious. Alright, here we go with our less than wonderful little map. But as you can see, the fields are not even numbered. Alright? So that was sort of that entire concept of owned fields and numbered fields were not even included. There's nothing to nothing for any of these mods to look at insofar as data and numbers and go, oh, okay, you know. It could have worked out the opposite way as well. It may have looked at it and gone, oh, you own everything. So, you know, and those maps where the fields are all numbered, but they still choose to allow you to own all the fields as soon as you start the map, I can only imagine what your spending limit is. You know, I have no idea. You know, a couple million? I don't know. You know, but like I say, if you own nothing, they give you 50,000 as a max. So that wouldn't have worked out too well here, because even though you could certainly make up the money to buy a field after doing a harvest, well, 50,000 doesn't get you much in the way of harvesters, I'm afraid. Not much at all. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I wanted to let you know about the changes that have come in. I believe it's version 1.36 now for MR. They actually did quite a lot of changes. There's some impressive looking stuff in there. Have I noticed a big difference? A little bit. the one Fendt tractor that I was originally using. There we go. That I was originally using to try and pull this. It worked before I upgraded to the new MR version because I filled it with lime and drove it down here. This is our new trailer, by the way. Pretty nice, eh? Really good detailing. Bit of clippage, but hey. It's alright, don't have to jump over the hitch, I can walk through it. For the most part though, she's a pretty solid model. Not bad at all. And of course, completely MR. Holds a lot and looks good doing it. But yeah, I actually had to go up to a larger model of Fendt tractor just to be able to haul this. So there has obviously been some real-time numbers changed in the game. So, but there you go. We'll have a look at our postcard of the German Shepherd. Isn't that wonderful? Hey, buddy. It's creepy, man. It's like its eyes are following me. Ay. That is one nasty looking axe. See, that's not a wood cutting axe. That's something you cave a steel helm in with, you know? So, but there you are, guys. I think we're going to let the episode go here. Like I said, wanted to let you know there's been a bunch of changes to MR, and I have, like I said, gone with them. We do have the latest version running now. So hopefully we're not going to run into too many patches or issues with that particular patch insofar as some of the mods we already own, some of the mods we're going to get later, and you know, most especially I hope we don't end up with issues with the maps. So, because all of them, including this one, were certainly put out, including the MR editing on this map to make it MR ready, were done before the patch. So far, no issues. But who knows? I may decide to detach a trailer from a tractor at some point in the near future and have the whole works fly off into the atmosphere. So, until that happens, or doesn't happen, this field up here is the next one I'm actually working on. And I believe our harvester is parked here, awaiting further harvesting instructions. Yes, indeed. Hey, dude. Sitting here with your cat, having a little fishing action. Very cool. Hey, look, dude, there's fish there. Want me to scare them towards your line? That's freaky, man. I mean, what an attention to detail when you even include fish in the creek for the guy to fish for. That's wonderful. Skidir. Perfect. Yeah, here we are. This is the next field we've been working on. So, I think that's going to do her, guys. Love these piles of straw. You know, actually, you know, nicely raised off the ground and such. Looks good. That's going to do her. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. We will see you here next time on Gorzkowa in hard mode and more realistic. Until then, take care of each other, folks. I don't know what the heck that is. Looks like a street light that fell over. So yeah, take care of each other, folks, and nobody else will. Till next we meet, this has been Species 7, and ciao for now.